In this lesson, we're going to review simplifying or adding and subtracting functions. The main thing we want to look at here is the notation that they use, because I think the notation is what seems confusing and it's not the actual problem that's confusing. So number one, they're telling us to find f of x plus g of x. So they just want us to add these two functions together. So they give us f of x right here, and they give us g of x right here. So to find f of x plus g of x, I would literally just take and add x squared minus x minus 2 plus x minus 3. So that equals x squared minus x minus 2 plus the x minus 3. I'm adding what those two functions equal together. So f of x plus g of x equals, and I combine like terms here. I have 1x squared. I have a negative x plus x, which would add up to 0, right? And I have a negative 2 and a negative 3, so I have x squared minus 5. So you are literally just combining like terms. The notation makes it look harder than that, but that's all you're doing. So your answer for f of x plus g of x is x squared minus 5. So now in number 2, sometimes they'll just give it to you just like this. They're going to have the functions and they're not going to say to add f or subtract f of x minus g of x. So when they don't have that there, you don't have to use function notation. In number 1, I chose to use function notation, meaning the way I wrote it right here in red, because of the way they wrote the problem. They were giving me equations, so I answered with an equation. In number 2, they're giving you an expression here. So they're saying take this expression, 3x squared minus 2x plus 3, minus the expression of x squared plus 4x minus 2. What I would do first here is I know that this is really distributing a negative here. So I'm distributing this negative to all three parts, which I know means it just changes their sign. So I always change this to a positive and just change every sign in that second parenthesis. And then it's an addition problem. It's a lot easier for me. So when I combine like terms here, I'd have 3x squared and negative 1x squared, which gives me 2x squared. I have negative 2x and negative 4x, so negative 6x. And I have a 3 plus a 2, so plus 5. And there's my answer. Number 3, you will see, is also an expression. And I have 3 different ones that I'm adding or subtracting. So this one that has my negative here, I'm going to change that to a positive, and then I distribute the negative to both terms. So I change their sign. I don't do anything with this last one because that's a plus sign, so those negatives wouldn't affect that last expression. So now as I combine like terms, I'm looking first, you always want to answer in descending order, right? So I'm going to look for x cubes first. 3x cubed plus the 8x cubed would give me 11x cubed. Then I looked for squareds. Negative 3x squared and negative 1x squared is negative 4x squared. For some of you, that negative is going to cause a problem sometimes. So you can still make 2 marks and see that that's a negative x squared if that helps you. And then I'm going to look for some x's, because that should come next in descending order, but I'm not seeing any just x the first. So I look at my numbers. A 5 and a negative 3 would add up to a 2. And there's my answer. Hopefully that was a quick enough review for you on how to add and subtract those equations or expressions.